right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this UW System Career Trek hosted by UW Whitewater and featuring Kerry. We're so excited to have you all here today and just wanted to go through a few quick announcements. First of all, my name is Kim Appel. I am the Technology and Employer Relations Coordinator here at UW Whitewater in our Career Services Department. I do want to thank everyone for coming. We do have a registration form that we ask that our student guests fill out today. That will help us to give credit to those of you that are here to receive credit as part of either the professional development program here at UW Whitewater or the Pro program at Stevens Point, or perhaps a class at your university as well. With that, be sure to check out that link in the chat, fill it out for us. I'll send it a few more times throughout the presentation today as well. So I do want to take a brief moment to talk about the career treks in general. So this is a UW System initiative that started in fall 2020. And we are so excited that we've been able to offer these opportunities for students to connect with some really great companies and organizations here in Wisconsin. We have 13 different treks each semester. Each school hosts one each semester. So this has really been a wonderful collaboration. This trek and almost all of the other treks has been recorded and will be recorded and placed onto a YouTube channel where you can watch that video all over again and share with your friends. So you would be able to visit the UW System Career Trek official website, click on view past virtual treks, and then the watch now button, and you'll be able to watch any of the wonderful treks that we've given in the past. So with that, there's a few more things to share. We do want to let you know there is another trek next week coming up that will be hosted by UW Milwaukee and featuring Advocate Aurora Health. So we're very excited to be able to offer that opportunity to learn about their organization and opportunities as well. At this point, I do have a poll that I want to have everyone fill out just to give us a quick idea of where you're from, what year in school you are. So if you can take a quick moment to fill that out, and then I will share that with our presenters as well. So I see those numbers going up. We're about halfway there. Thank you all for taking the time to fill this out for us. So it looks like we've got either Whitewater or Madison in the lead. Way to go. Eau Claire and River Falls is also tied in the lead. We've got some from South and Stevens Point, and we've also got someone here from Green Bay and Platteville or La Crosse. So we've got a good branch of students and guests here from across the system. And then it looks like we've got the majority of our students being juniors with a few seniors, sophomores, and a few freshmen as well. So just so you are aware. So I've ended the poll here. I do want to once again mention that registration form for those of you that just came in a little bit late. I'll send that in the chat again. And then you will have the opportunity to ask some questions throughout this presentation. So there will be a Q&A kind of panel happening with some questions. When you're prompted at that point, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask those questions, or you can throw them in the chat and we can ask those on your behalf. We'll also have a little bit of a Q&A at the end as well, if needed. So with that, I'm going to take a moment to introduce our host here. So that is going to be Brianna of Kerry. And Brianna, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away.
Sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and attempt this on my side. And sounds like the alarms are going off outside, so I apologize in advance if you guys can hear that. All right, and here we go. So I guess first, just to kick it off, I wanted to say hello and welcome from all of us here at Kerry. We're super excited to engage with you all today. We really are looking forward to giving you some insight into who we are, what it is that we do, and then if that all sounds fun to you, share out how you can join us. So just a quick note to go over our agenda here. We're going to take a moment to introduce you to the speakers for the day. We'll have a video and a few slides in hopes of showing you kind of some insights into Kerry and all of that. We also wanted to open up the chat for an informal Q&A session to allow you the chance to speak to any questions that you have, maybe over the content of today or anything you were just hoping to learn about Kerry or our speakers. We'll follow that with a session just to kind of talk over the early career opportunities that we do have for grads, interns, and then even potential, full-time opportunities after all of that is done. And then from there, we'll kick it off with just how you can connect as well. So with that, want to say our next slide here is just to introduce the other members of our team. I've got James Beerle here today, Grace Redeker, Ben Cottrell, Jason Mounts, and then myself. So I'll let them each kind of take a moment to say a little bit about who they are, and then maybe a brief overview of your roles and any other fun information you want to share with the group.
Very good. That was the uncomfortable pause of everybody thinking, are we all going to jump in at the same time? So Hi, everybody. Thanks for spending some time with us today. My name is James Beer. I lead supply chain for North America for Kerry. I've been with Kerry for a year now. Before that, I was with Procter & Gamble, Mead Johnson Nutrition, making infant formula, then Kellogg's, and then a smaller company, Perfetti Van Mel, that actually makes Airheads and Mentos. I've been in operations and supply chain my whole life, and I was born and raised in Mexico City and started my career. I went to the National University there and started my career with Procter & Gamble down in Mexico. So done engineering, operations, supply chain my whole life. Really excited to tell you a lot of why Kerry is very exciting and why I've found it exciting, at least share that perspective with you, and looking forward to having a good two-way conversation. And you said something fun or particular, Brianna. Just went for spring break down to Mexico with my son. We went to my niece's wedding down in Mexico, and I loved it because he came back saying, I don't know who she's going to be, but she's going to marry me in Mexico. He loved the Mexican wedding experience. So great to meet all of you.
Awesome. Thanks, James.
I can jump in next year and eliminate more awkwardness. Hi, everyone. My name is Jason Mounts. I am joining you from Denver, Colorado, and Kerry has no offices in Denver. We have offices in a lot of places around the world, but Denver is not one of them. However, I work remotely here in Denver, and then I travel out to our North American headquarters in Wisconsin about once a month, and then sort of trek around to meet with customers and whatnot in between. So my role is I'm the senior marketing director for our branded business. And I'll kind of get into the details of that and what distinguishes our different businesses when it's my turn to talk slides. I'm actually very new to this particular role. I was promoted into this role about 3 weeks ago, so still trying to understand what my new responsibilities are. Prior to that, I was with Kerry for about a year and a half on our meat EUM business, and EUM stands for end use market. And again, I'll talk about more of our businesses later. Overall, my background is heavily focused in marketing. When I graduated as an undergrad from the University of Denver, I started working in the consulting world at a company called Accenture. Realized that was not my passion, so I went back to graduate school to get my graduate degree in marketing. And since then, most of my experience has been in the world of food, on both what we would call the CPG or consumer packaged goods side of the business, as well as food service. And so food service would be when food shows up in restaurants or at universities, et cetera. From a marketing perspective, I have a lot of experience when it comes to innovation, so developing new products, as well as insights. I've led insights teams, which are market researchers, and then also brand management. So really the people who are managing kind of the brands in the business. So that's a little bit about me, and I will be chatting more later.
Thanks.
I can go next. Hi all, I'm Grace Redeker. I will have been with Kerry for 8 years in June. I graduated from the University of Illinois with a degree in chemical engineering. I started as a grad with Kerry and have worked as a production supervisor, a continuous improvement specialist, and now I'm a data analyst and part of our continuous improvement subject matter expert team. So I analyze data to help sites identify the opportunities that they have to make improvements in their manufacturing facilities, where they should go after those opportunities. And on the continuous improvement side, I get to coach teams on implementing or refining our continuous improvement standards that we have out there. So as part of that role, I get to help sites implement those tools, watch them build upon them, ingrain them in their ways of working. And it's really an exciting process to get to see how the sites take it and run with it as they're implementing those tools. So that's a little bit about me, and we'll talk more later.
Hello, my name is Ben Cottrell. I'm with Kerry 6.5 years. I started with Kerry in the graduate program similar to Grace, though I began in Europe in our Irish side of our business. Worked there for about 15 months and then moved across over to the US. And since starting as a graduate, I've worked in 4 different regions, Asia, South America, North America, and Europe. And I've got to transition across various different roles similar to Grace, everything from supply chain to project management and now operations. And I'm speaking to you all from our site in Montgomery, Alabama, though I'm based in Madison, Wisconsin. So very pleased to meet you all.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. And then I guess to introduce myself as well, Brianna Schellschmidt, Talent Acquisition Partner. I've been with Kerry since 2018. As of the beginning of this year, I was able to get the opportunity to help out with the early talent program and really just helping the students connect to our business and helping them to, make and take those next steps in that professional career. So I really look forward to helping you all. And, I guess want to just say that for me, why I choose Kerry is really the people. I obviously love food, but the people are really what make the business. And, we hope to kind of help engage you through all of this and help to, share out all those learning experiences with you. So again, thank you all for joining. And with that, I have a video to share. We'll go ahead and let me know if for some reason you guys can't hear it, but we'll go ahead.
We're in the midst of a consumer-led revolution. Today's end consumer wants more natural, authentic food and beverages that taste great and nourish their overall health and well-being. They want their food to be responsibly sourced, safely produced, and environmentally sustainable. The global food industry is facing more complex challenges than ever. Challenges such as how to improve the nutrition and health of a growing population, how to reduce food waste, minimize malnutrition, and ensure food security, and how to address these challenges against a backdrop of diminishing biodiversity and natural resources. All of this is accelerating the industry transformation. This changing landscape means that food companies need more from their suppliers. They are seeking a partner who can deliver leading consumer insights with the breadth and depth of scientific know-how and capabilities right across the end-to-end supply chain, and with the expertise to support them from ideation to launch to impact. This is where Kerry excels. We are the world's leading taste and nutrition company. Our unrivaled expertise across the breadth and depth of our technology portfolio, our consumer-led and customer-centric business model, and our ability to deliver solutions that meet today's consumer needs set us apart in the industry. Through this holistic support lens, we enable our customers to move along the sustainable nutrition spectrum, delivering products that are better for consumers, better for society, and better for the planet. Kerry's journey over the past 50 years has been one of continuous evolution, adding value across all food and beverage end-use markets, across all channels, using our breadth and depth of technology capability to provide solutions in every geography, and to be our customers' most valued partner. As we continue to lead the industry, aligned to evolving customer and consumer needs, we will grow and create true value at every step, now and into the future. We excel at the intersection of taste and nutrition, solving the most complex customer challenges with truly differentiated solutions. We are Kerry. By inspiring food and nourishing life, we are creating a world of sustainable nutrition.
Awesome. If you guys ever want to check that out, we have a whole YouTube page called Experience Kerry. There's lots of fun videos on there, and then also content from graduate students that have been through the program and kind of their experience as well. So just something fun to kind of check out, and a quick plug for that. But then we'll next kind of go into, a next slide here with, we'll let James kind of take it over. Whoop. Just talk a little bit about, some of our values and our company. So.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brianna. So I talked at the intro, right, about what makes Kerry exciting and what I've found to be exciting about Kerry. And it goes in three ways, right? First, I love food. I really, really do. And it's not only, hey, we make food and we make a lot of it. It's amazing to be able to have the contact with the food science behind it, the level of connection in the food market. Being in a company that has chefs on staff is absolutely fun to be a part of. So the part of inspiring food, nourishing life that drives the company is really exciting, right? And it's not only the, hey, let's develop great food solutions, it's how we do it. And if you investigate a little bit about Kerry, there is a pretty audacious goal of being able to sustainably feed 2 billion people by 2030. And it's how we reach people and how we're developing those goals. So the first thing that I found was, okay, yeah, we've got a global vision, right? And you always go into the, what does that mean? And I found the connection with the products that we make, the customers and consumers that we touch, and then the way that the company does it. The vision is to be our customers' most valued partner, right? Creating a world of sustainable nutrition. We talked about the second part a little bit more. The customer's most valued partner is very near and dear to my part. I lead supply chain, I lead distribution, and I lead customer care. And we have contact with customers day in and day out. Right now, it's a very challenging time to be doing this. And it's at the same time, a very exciting time to be doing it. And every day, right? It's how do we get better so we can be better for our customers? And the way we do it is through our values. And you'll see the 5 there. Beyond what, it's a beautiful poster, it goes on the wall, you walk past it when you go to corporate visits, right? What do they really mean? And when you look at where it starts, and it's the courage, right? It's the wanting to have the direct conversations. And I found Kerry to be a very open place. I have found more energetic people, passionate about their business. That excites me, living and breathing in a place where that courage and those conversations and that openness happens is very exciting. Enterprising spirit is an understatement. And Kerry really always talks about our entrepreneurial approach. You think entrepreneurial, $8 billion company doesn't really make sense. But when you think of it, I've been in supply chain with large corporations for almost 7 years now. I had been privy to 4 acquisitions prior to Kerry. The first year that I've been here, we've had 6. And that's the rate at which Kerry grows. And we grow in different directions, different technologies. And it's always that bold, big picture move, trying to say, how can we be better? And what it does for me is I love not being bored, and it keeps you moving, right? It's an environment where you are always moving. We definitely strive for inclusiveness. And because of the global footprint that we have, and because of the number of acquisitions that we have, we've learned to see strength and diversity. And we know that out of the different approaches from all of us comes that richness that makes Kerry really successful. Obviously, being entrepreneurial and being inclusive, you have to be open-minded, right? The curiosity, the innovation that's behind it, and the always wanting to learn and push, even when it gets tough, right, is really important. And then the other part, and that's one of the things that I love about our grad program, when we say ownership and the accountability of saying, hey, this is our business and we're going to drive it, our early career programs are not about, hey, please come in and be part of a team that kind of you have a part of. You get thrown into roles that are driving the business day to day. You're expected to have that flexibility and be able to move and learn different parts of the business, different markets and different locations. And that obviously makes it a really rich environment. All of that with a disclaimer, whenever I've hired and interviewed folks for Kerry, what I tell them is you've got to know that it fits, right? So if you're looking for a very set, established, this is the way we've done this for 170 years kind of environment that's very stable, Kerry's probably not going to be for you, right? And it's okay. You have to know what you're looking for. What excites me is an environment where new things are happening all the time, where you're going to be thrown into challenges that it's not, hey, we know how to do it, can you go do it? It's, please help us figure it out, right? And there is so much happening at the same time that for me, it's very exciting. It proves to be a place where you learn and you have new challenges every day, where you can be focused on many different things in a said week. So if you like that pace, if you like that set of challenges, and you're looking for a place that'll have that enterprising spirit and that's going to demand that ownership of driving the results better for you, definitely what you're seeing on the page rings true of who Kerry is. And if that fits what you're looking for, we're a fantastic place to be, and the business has been growing and will continue to grow going forward with the strategy we have. So I'll leave it there. I could talk all day about it, but I'd like to stop, ask if there's any questions, and if not, give it back to you, Brianna.
Awesome, thanks. I'm gonna assume silence means no questions. All right, and then I wanted to also share, just to give you all an aspect of how big we are. Grace will kind of share some information here just on our global footprint.
So as James mentioned, we've grown fast and we've grown wide. Kerry formed as a dairy company in 1972 in Ireland. In the 80s, we entered into the US and UK, and in the 90s, we expanded in Europe, as well as entered into Latin America and Asia Pacific. Over the years, we've acquired several companies, and as James mentioned, we're always moving, always growing, and grown across the world. We're currently located in 32 countries. In 2009, Kerry's North American Technology and Innovation Center opened in Beloit, Wisconsin, which then laid the foundation for other development and application centers and technology and innovation centers across the globe, including the Global Center in Naas, Ireland. And this year, Kerry is celebrating its 50th anniversary, which is really exciting. Personally, I've had the opportunity to work at 3 sites in North America, in Wisconsin, Georgia, and Illinois. So not quite as global as Ben was talking to earlier, but I've been able to visit lots of sites across the country for different assignments and projects that I've been a part of. In my current role I've had the chance to work with people in other states, other countries, to create and roll out global standards. So it's been a really fun experience seeing all the resources that are out there. And as a global company, it's just a huge opportunity with Kerry to learn and grow with all of those resources that are out there.
Yes, definitely. It always is kind of like a joke between Grace and I. She's either flying or in a different location. So I say, hey, where are you at today?
Yep, always moving around, lots of opportunity to do that.
Yes, yes. And then just to kind of give some insights into, closer to home, in the US here, what our manufacturing footprint looks like across North America. Ben, if you want to take that piece.
Thank you, Brenna. So we have 56 different manufacturing sites across the US. And to the right, you see a key card of what technologies they relate to and pertain to. So I know Jason gave an update on meat previously and that he worked in that business. So we have different technologies: meat, taste, beverage, food, sweetened cereal, and AHN. And I'm going to be extremely biased throughout all this and speak very highly of AHN, which is an abbreviation for Applied Health and Nutrition. I work in the Applied Health Nutrition, and out of the 56 sites, around 13 or 14 of them are AHN. And I've been extremely lucky that I've got to visit each and every one of them and worked with those sites in some capacity. So looking at North America, we really have like 56 sites. So if you're up for traveling, or if you're open to living in different areas, there is endless opportunities to move to around and experience different different sceneries, different sites, and even different culture. For example, I work in the vinegar side of the business within AHN, and we have 9 manufacturing facilities across the US. We have 2 on the West Coast, one in Washington State, one in California, and we have kind of 4 or 5 in the Midwest, all the way down to the south in Alabama, and then we have 3/4 on the East Coast. For me personally, why I really enjoy working with Kerry is coming over from Europe. Every week I'm on the road, heading out to one of the sites and making a difference by getting hands-on experience and working with those sites. I've been to limited other sites just through different projects and initiatives, and really throughout each site the culture is very much the same. A lot of what James previously touched on about being inclusive, open-minded, and not being afraid to make mistakes as well.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, thank you. And then just to help to give a picture of, okay, so we have all of these places. This is a little bit about us, but Kerry's still a little unknown, right? So just a little information on our brands that we have here from Jason.
All right. Yeah, and I think that's a good point, Brianna. When you think about Kerry, our portfolio is massive. And if you look at the customers that we work with here on this page, this is just a handful of them here in North America. It's really the who's who of brands in the food world. And that's both from a retail perspective, where you would go purchase a product from the grocery store, or if you go out to eat and grab food from like a QSR or a fast casual restaurant. The reality is you don't really hear the name Kerry a lot, because our business is really to partner with these food brands and work with them behind the scenes. So while you might not see the Kerry logo in your day-to-day life, there's a good chance throughout your experience eating in a given week or given day, even, you're probably consuming products that are made with Kerry's ingredients. So I think from a career opportunity perspective, it's really exciting to know that you're going to have the opportunity to work on businesses that impact some of these really, blue chip consumer brands that are out there in the marketplace. So if you click one slide forward, when you think about the customers that are on that slide, they make a lot of different products in the marketplace. And I think What's amazing about Kerry is like I mentioned, the breadth of our portfolio. It also makes it a little bit daunting when you're coming into the organization to really understand how we operate. And in fact, this past year, I welcomed a new grad from Miami University of Ohio onto my team as part of our marketing rotation program, where he gets to spend a different year on in different groups across marketing before he ends up kind of landing in his permanent spot. And he made the comment, like, obviously I consume food every day. I had no idea how complex the food chain is, the food world, and how complex Kerry would be. And that's just because we have so many different great ingredients and what we call technologies to create consumer preferred products. So, a handful of them are on this page. Some of the ones that stick out to me, coming from working historically on our meat business, I think all of us have experienced the phenomenon of the chicken sandwich craze that started back in 2019, when Popeyes really reintroduced the crispy chicken sandwich as we know it, and restaurants were selling out, people were standing in lines, people were fighting. That product in particular is a product that Kerry helped Popeyes redesign and introduce into the marketplace through some of our coating and breading technology. And since then, that chicken sandwich has ignited this whole new kind of pop culture phenomenon, the chicken sandwich wars. And we have our hands in that, whether it's through the restaurants or working with brands like Tyson. On a different side of our business, you've got up in the top right there, you've got queso. That's part of what we call our food end use market. That's an example of a product that we actually make not just the ingredients for, but the end product itself. So we partnered with Chipotle to come up with a better for you queso. We also make the queso for Qdoba. So that's another example of one of our food dairy products. And then we have a big beverage business as well. Ingredients that go into coffee products, whether it's for Starbucks, for Panera, as well as alcohol products. There's a whole, a lot of activity around hard seltzers these days. We do a lot of the flavors for those alcohol brands. So again, at the end of the day, what's really exciting is you get to work across a lot of different products, technologies, ingredients. And I think that's what keeps it really interesting for me. You're always getting exposed to different brands and businesses. And then my final slide here, if we go forward, represents my new role in my new world, which is, while for the most part, Kerry's going to be behind the scenes, we do have a branded business that's small within the world of Kerry revenue, but still here in North America, it's about a $350 million business that my new team helps manage. And most of our brands that you see are going to be more familiar for the food service marketplace, meaning our customer would be selling to restaurants and restaurant operators. However, some of these products can also be found in the consumer world, whether it's Amazon or Whole Foods. And one of the exciting things my team is working on moving forward is really building out a stronger direct-to-consumer business, meaning creating brands that consumers would buy directly, whether it's at Amazon.com or from Costco or Walmart. So Kerry's making a big investment in diversifying these brands and building them out into direct-to-consumer offerings. So a lot of the work my team is going to be doing moving forward is going to be creating that opportunity for the business. So that's something that I'm really excited about, and I'm looking forward to the future of, hopefully, a few years from now, this page will be populated with a lot more brands and businesses.
There's so many really good ones too. I know you talked about restaurants, and I go to one local Mexican restaurant, and they use the Island Oasis brand in their stuff, and it's really good. So awesome. And then Ben, just to help give a little insight into AH&N, it is a very vast portfolio of what we do. Would you be able to speak a little bit to that as well?
Yeah, I can, of course. And really, when I joined Kerry back in 2016, I joined the applied health and nutrition side of the business, and I've been very lucky to have been part of a lot of acquisitions, and you can see them from the timeline below. Though really, AHN is a real growing side of the business within Kerry. We have a lot of different, I suppose we have 5 main pillars that have technologies. So we have proactive health, which is a lot of supplements and like promotes better health. We have proteins that deal an awful lot within, say, infant formula, as well as, you know, the whey market. We have functional technologies, and this one, the name doesn't really give it away, but it is very integral. Within the functional technologies, we make enzymes and emulsifiers. Now, enzymes, you know, they're very niche in terms, and I could speak for ages on enzymes. So one fun fact about the enzymes that we make, it goes into a McDonald's burger bun to make sure the top of the bun is perfect and without any wrinkles. Likewise, we have emulsifiers, which goes into sauces and different items that make sure that it stays in that form throughout it. Currently, I'm working in the food protection and preservation business myself as part of the vinegar side, where one of our own largest customers is internal Kerry. Kerry is the largest vinegar producer in North America. And really, we supply vinegar into another site within Kerry that manufactures it, that creates nitrates that helps food preservation in deli meats. Additionally, a large factor of our food protection and preservation business is ensuring that shelf life items don't go out of date as well. So, for example, bread, we make ingredients that help sustain the shelf life of bread, so there's less waste. In the opening video that you would have all seen, AHN is driving an awful lot of their sustainability practices and providing technologies to other Kerry businesses, which will provide solutions to our customers. Last but not least is the farmer side of our business, and this has been really important and has been highlighted even throughout the latest pandemic. We split it up into making pharmaceutical lactose, which is used in developing tablets. So, for example, hay fever medicine, Tylenol, over-the-counter drugs. We are a key ingredient provider for a lot of those across the whole world. Additionally, within the pharma business, we make cell media, and even some of our cell media was used in ingredients for vaccines for COVID-19. So even though we're very much out of the spotlight in terms of the news, we're a real big player in supporting the industry move forward through providing solutions to our customers. That's really it. I'll just take you down below. Since 2016 or 2015, the AHN business has really grown. And I've been lucky to be involved in a lot of the acquisitions below. So I first got involved in acquisitions where we bought companies in 2018 for both Foremost, and I'm now in Fleshman's. Likewise with IsoAge, Biosecure, and the latest one has been National Vinegar. And really, you know, coming into Kerry, I never would have thought that I would get such opportunities to, from within a company, learn so much about other companies. And James touched on that very much so in the introduction as well too. Overall, as I mentioned before, I'd be very much one-sided as I'm within the AHN team, and it's a really good business to be in because we're really contributing to not only sustainability, though offering more healthy solutions to our customers and in change back to ourselves through the food chain.
Awesome, thank you. And then the next section is really just like a Q&A. We want to open it up to all of you on the call here to see, you know, obviously we shared a bunch of information. You might have come with questions, but, you know, any of those you're welcome to ask, and also go ahead and ask on the content today or any other burning questions that you have.
So. Hello. Okay, yes, so hi, I'm Ryan. My name's Ryan O'Donnell. I am a chemistry undergrad at UW Eau Claire, and I was actually interested in your company for a while for internship opportunities, and I got an email yesterday that said that this panel was happening, and I was like, oh my God, this might save me an email exchange or something, and I just was wondering if I could ask somebody about that. This summer I'll be living in Janesville, just right next to Boyd, very short drive. And if there were any opportunities for that.
Yeah, currently we filled majority of our internship opportunities for this summer, but I think if you'd like to, you and I can talk. We probably have some full-time opportunities or maybe part-time opportunities over the summer, but I would absolutely be love to, connect you with the right people and make sure we, check through all options for you. Definitely a great way to get into the company and just kind of see what we do.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Okay. Could I get your email address or?
Yes, it's going to be a little bit later in some of the slides, and then we'll also send it out to after.
Oh, great. Perfect.
So,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, any other questions for anybody else? All right. I've got questions in case, anybody is scared to, say anything, or Kim, I can't see the chat, but if there is any questions too, we'll be happy to answer those. But a couple of things I wanted to talk through today, and anyone on our team, feel free to speak up, but this one here is kind of directed towards anyone. What are some of your favorite things about working for Kerry, whether that be a project, the day-to-day work, or anything like that? We might have that awkward silence again, but feel free to step in.
Oh, I can take this one. So my favorite thing about working with Kerry is I've worked across a lot of different functions and roles within Kerry. I mentioned supply chain, worked on integration, acquisitions, and even now I'm in operations and manufacturing. And in each and every role I've stepped into, it's been challenging, fast-paced, and ultimately very rewarding. I feel that like every day when I come to work, I can make a very meaningful difference, and that really gives me an inner satisfaction. For example, today I mentioned I'm out in the Montgomery site, and earlier this morning we had a problem identifying what units to ship for what order. So myself, the plant superintendents, and the transport manager, we were down there problem solving, and we were able to put in place a robust system to enable our operators to be able to identify what orders are going out in a very kind of slick, easy manner that's repeatable. So it's experiences like that from day to day where it gives me great satisfaction, and I believe that I'm really contributing to the business.
Awesome. That's great. Anybody else have a favorite?
I can offer another perspective. I think one of the exciting things about Kerry is you probably noticed that Ben has an Irish accent. We are a global company, and so it's really exciting to get to work against a common goal with people all over the world. So we do have a big global office in Ireland. So you do end up working with a lot of people from Ireland who are based here in the US now, but from regions all over the world. And I've worked on projects where it was a joint project between North America. We had somebody from Costa Rica and Latin America, folks in Asia, and then over in Europe as well. So I think the opportunity to be part of a global business that's growing across the world is pretty exciting and brings you a lot of additional perspective to your career that you might not otherwise get to experience. So that's definitely something that I value and would recommend getting that experience.
Yeah. I think not only just from speaking to them today, but if you're somebody who enjoys travel, I mean, you'll listen to the team. They've all been many different places. There's lots of opportunity for that, and just growth overall. I guess for me, I always speak to the fact that within my career, I've gotten the opportunity through the mentorship and teachings of my managers of like, where do I want to take my career and how do you get there? And being able to have those open conversations because of the people has been really a huge aspect in what I love and what my favorite things are. Kerry definitely fosters those types of situations for you. So if maybe you're not 100% sure, but you'll definitely find a path throughout the whole time with us. So
yeah, I can jump in there, Brianna, as well. And for me, whenever I look at an organization, I look at two things, right? Are they going in the right direction? And am I going to have the right environment going in that right direction? And the strategy that we have globally and the direction in which the business is being shaped, both for growth, for going into much more leading edge parts of nutrition, has been called out, and the sustainability piece made for me a really good decision coming in. And then it's who you do it with, really. And one of the things that I love is Brianna talked about the people, the passion. And the other thing that I love is the down to earthedness, right? You can be in a project meeting in a plant, and you can be with the North America exec, and there's not this pretension, and our leaders tend to be pretty down to earth. And that makes it a fun place to work, for sure.
Definitely. You got to enjoy the people you work with, for sure.
Absolutely.
I would say everyone on this call has been a pleasure to work with too. So I know in a lot of these questions here and kind of conversations today around like the fluffy, exciting things about Kerry, but I guess maybe if we could just, talk through what are some of the challenges that we've all seen at Kerry and how that can be tough to just, everything's not always rainbows.
Yeah, I'll jump in there as well and maybe melt the ice with everybody. But your biggest strength will always be your biggest challenge or opportunity, is something that I've learned to know. And the fact that we're growing that quickly, the fact that we're integrated out of many pieces, and the fact that Kerry loves to wheel, deal, and do it all at the same time can make for a pretty stressful environment at times, right? And that's why I told you, if you like that fast pace, if you like the up and down, it's a great place. If you don't like roller coasters and you like stability and calmer waters, Kerry can be challenging. I think that would be the biggest thing for me.
Definitely. So it keeps it entertaining, that's for sure. There's always something new and always a new challenge. You're always looking forward to that next best thing too. So.
And I think on that note a little bit, there's just always so much going on. So knowing how to set priorities, having conversations with your manager. I know I've got a great manager that he can help me set those priorities if I'm stuck and confused. So I think knowing how to make that your giant list of things to get done and all the projects being worked on, how to organize those and, get through it day by day and make sure you know what to be working on.
Mm-hmm.
One other perspective on that, as far as kind of not necessarily a challenge, but something that's different and you have to learn to work through, is structurally, Kerry is what you would call a matrixed organization, meaning if you look at the organization on paper and reporting structures, who people work for, a lot of times people are reporting to multiple leaders across the organization. Sometimes we would call it direct versus dotted line. So the reality is you have to be very flexible to understand that you might have a direct boss, meaning the person who at the end of the day measures your performance and handles sort of like the administrative pieces of your job and reporting relationship. But ultimately, you might work more closely with a leader in another part of the organization. So it can create some ambiguity as far as roles and responsibilities and decision-making, who gets to decide. It's matrixed intentionally because of the complexity of our business and the way that we're organized, but it's something that you have to recognize when you join the company, that there's not always going to be clear reporting lines, maybe as what you're used to. And sometimes I think it can be confusing coming on board to understanding like who to go to for what, because there's so many different pieces of the puzzle. And I've heard that feedback from my grad who joined this year as well. Like, just sometimes he doesn't know who to go to because it can be really confusing. And obviously I help him work through that, but that is something that makes makes Kerry unique. I think it makes it exciting because you get exposure to different leaders that you probably wouldn't in a more hierarchical organization, but it can create some challenges that you have to work through as well.
Yeah, I agree. My day to day, it can be that way as well, but it also lets you meet and network with so many people in the business. So definitely a positive and can be a negative, but it's really, who you are and what you enjoy for sure. I think I'll do one more question here, only because we have, it looks like about 9 more minutes, and I want to make sure we chat through the different opportunities and how to connect with me as well. Connect with me and everyone else, not just me. But I guess with that, is there, if anybody wants to, 1 or 2, say any recommendations for an incoming employee and maybe how they can succeed?
I think it was already touched upon. I would really say someone coming in will need to be extremely flexible. To Jason's point there, you're coming into an organization that is, very robust and dynamic, and even changing. Like, I'm with Kerry 6 years. I think I've never stayed longer than a year in a role, and moved across different regions. So being very flexible and open-minded is a key attribute to have coming into Kerry.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would echo that. And having joined not too long ago, one of the things that I was told, and I don't think I fully appreciated, was the onboarding process. So meaning the time that it takes you to be in your role and feel like you know how to navigate and have a good handle on the organization. I was told expect 1.5 to 2 years, which I thought, oh, well, I'll hit the ground running. I have a lot of years under my belt. It's very true. And it goes back to the size of our business, the breadth of it, and some of the things I talked about. So I think you have to come in being willing to be uncomfortable for a period of time, and remaining very open and curious to understanding all parts of our business. The other piece of advice I got was the benefit of networking within Kerry. So being very open to forming relationships, meeting with people across the company to understand what they do will be really critical. And that's really what I tried to focus on in my first year. And it really paid dividends, because then as questions come up and I'm not sure how to handle something, I at least know who to go to, who can steer me in the right direction.
Definitely. Cool. Well, thank you everyone for all the questions and answers. All right, so just to kind of talk through a little bit about our graduate program and opportunities, we have designed our graduate programs to be 2-year programs that are really learning experiences as you're coming out of school. So when you think of, you've learned all of these great things in school, but it's like, how do I put it together in real life? Being able to have a role where you can come in, learn a company, but then continue learning and actually putting those, skills that you've already spent so much time to use is really helpful. And it really helps to kind of iron out, what you want to do long term. And then the hope is that after those 2 years are up, you have an idea of what you'd like to do for your next professional level role. This year, we do have CI, continuous improvement opportunities, engineering opportunities, operations, supply chain, quality, health, safety, and environment, and even commercial sales for those 2-year roles. And then even, I will say too, again, if it isn't to fit in there, definitely check out our careers page, because there's opportunities that, you can still consider as you're coming out of school. I know I touched a little bit on the internships, being in the season, we're getting down to, not having quite as many left, but we do have some finance and then potential for supply chain and marketing as well. So keeping that in mind for you. And then even to just, I also like to bring up the future. So as we look into, when you are graduating, maybe it's 2023 or 2024, keep us in mind for any other internships opportunities in the future, but then also your graduate roles. We'll have new headcount every single year. We always allocate and plan towards like the end of the summer. So like September and August time, definitely reach out and kind of start those conversations early. I also threw in just a couple of the majors that we consider. High level engineering, overall business, food science is huge, and then occupational safety. But it can be a mix of any of those things. It's really just where you find your strengths and what the role applies to you. always read through the job descriptions and see if it might be something you'd be interested in. It's always worth a conversation. So, and I guess with that, you know, how do you join us? Come have a seat at our table. Obviously, again, love food, so having a reference to that. Definitely check out our careers page. It's jobs@kerry.com. In there, you'll find more information just about Kerry in general. You'll also see how you can apply. You can search and filter by like the functions that you like and the locations too. Make sure it's a location you're willing to travel through, you know, if it's remote, not remote, what that type of requirement is. If you also want to just check that QR code too, feel free to scan that. It'll take you right to the page, and you're more than welcome to reach out to me, Brianna Schelschmidt at kerry.com. My name is difficult, so Kim will be sending that out after the meeting here. So you'll have a little bit more, you can copy and paste it a little bit better. After that, once you have applied, really in order to be considered, we do need an application in our system. But once it's in there, you can expect 2 to 3 business days for review. You'll be reached out via email or phone for contact to schedule an actual conversation. And then from there, we'll actually go into the interview process. So, you know, if everything passes and checks out, it's a fit for both sides, we'll go ahead into an interview dependent on the role, whether it's an internship or graduate. The process is a little bit different. For internships, we do a lot of video interviews now since COVID. Maybe in the future, we'll change that, we'll see. But then with graduates, we do generally do an interview day. So it sounds grueling, but I promise you it's so rewarding. You actually get a chance to showcase your skills, not only in like one-on-one interviews, but also in presentations and working with a team. So you're not alone in it, and it's kind of a fun overall experience. So beyond that, you know, once you finish those 2 pieces, if everything works out and, you know, it's a fit again for both us and for you, we would look forward to moving in that offer process as well. So yeah, that's really just, you know, kind of how to get in contact and what next steps would look like. If you're interested, obviously, feel free to reach out to any of us from today with questions, but we look forward to connecting with you all and really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today. I'll leave it as like a, you know, obviously a thank you again, but if you do have any questions, we've got a couple more minutes as well. So I'm happy to sit through here if there are any.
All right, I'm not seeing any questions initially, but feel free to throw it in the chat or unmute if you do want to ask one last one. I'm going to do some final announcements and thank yous while we wait, so I'll keep an eye on the chat while I do that. I do want to say a huge thank you to our team at Kerry. This was phenomenal. Really, really appreciated you taking the time to speak to our students today. This was really valuable. I learned a whole lot of information about Kerry. I had no idea all of the products that you are involved with in all of the companies. So that was really awesome. Thank you to Brianna, Jason, Grace, James, and Ben. All of you were wonderful. I do want to remind our participants here to be sure to fill out the attendance form. Once again, I've thrown it in the chat a few times so that we can get everyone their participation points if needed. I do want to thank the UW System Career Trek Committee, all of the members from the UW System team that have worked so hard to put these on each semester. And a final reminder that there is a trek next week on Wednesday, April 13th at 12 p.m. featuring Advocate Aurora Health, hosted by UW Milwaukee. So I'm seeing some wonderful messages in here, some thank yous here from people. So much appreciated, Kerry, and thank you all for coming. And it looks like we are at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.